I mean, it's a tale as old as time. It's a classic love story.
Mm-hmm. Classic love story.
You like your best friend. Your best friend likes your dad. I mean, it's Romeo and Juliet told by Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Nerdy. We're going to be covering Game of Thrones again because season 1 episode... I almost said season 2.
House of Dragon, season 1,
Game of Thrones,
2.
House of Dragons, season 1, episode 2. That's a mouthful. Say that 10 times. But, yeah, we're going to talk about the second episode that just dropped, and it was pretty good. And I'll just do this until we roll into our intro.
Okay.
Welcome back. I hope you like that intro. It's new for this season. And this video gets an intro. The last one didn't, because if you noticed, the Game of Thrones episode 1 did not have an intro.
I did notice that, actually.
And you did,
I did. And I went back to Game of Thrones, the original.
Yeah.
And the first episode did have an opening.
Okay, so something different. They really just wanted to staple that, hey, this is 172 years prior. You idiots don't think that this is happening at the same time of Game of Thrones.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what they wanted to show us.
Right?
No one's going to be the same.
Yeah. Don't expect Ned and all those people.
Nope. Ned to be a baby. Ned will not be a baby.
No, it's pre-baby.
Pre-baby Ned.
Not even a twinkle in his dad.
Nope.
But yeah, so the episode 2 opens up with another intro, kind of like the original Game of Thrones, right? Cameras panning over, showing you everything. Game of Thrones, you had the territory, the map with all the houses, and it kind of, with each episode, changed a little bit to depict what was where you were at in the story. This one was kind of interesting because it starts off with the I couldn't tell if that was like the fall of Valerian, whatever that place was called.
Valeria.
Valentos. But yeah, it looked like there was definitely dragons on the first sigil. But what was cool was like all the blood, and what it's showing you is, so a lot of those little pieces didn't have like emblems. Some kind of did. They just kind of looked a little more bland instead of having like a Stark logo,
a stag,
and so
Kraken.
Yeah, and so, but what those were definitely like the different members of the Targaryen household, and then it was blood going through all the different pieces to connect as a Targaryen bloodline. And so it was kind of neat. I'm curious to see, though, if it changes with each episode now moving forward. Maybe not every episode, but
like
every
you're
couple.
saying, if someone dies,
yeah, maybe somebody dies or gets dethroned of like lordship or something. Maybe their piece crumbles or whatever.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much that changes. It's gonna be really hard to focus on how it changes, because that was.
Yeah,
it was quick.
It
didn't give me a chance to really. Yeah, but
it's not like flying over, camera stopping, looking down at it,
writing
for a second.
what town you're looking at. Oh, yeah. Winterfell, there it is.
Yeah, there's the wall. Nice. Yeah. So it was interesting. I liked it though because it was the original Game of Thrones intro music.
Agreed.
As soon as that hit, I was just like, right in the feels. Yeah, it was so nice. But this episode was interesting. Right? Because
this is definitely a setting up for big storylines that are about to happen.
Yeah.
Big. It kind of, the first episode showed you everything. This episode just kind of branched off in like directions. Like it's going to go anyway now.
Yeah. Right. First episode, not a lot of politics played.
Not too much.
This one, heavy on the politics.
Heavy on the backstabbing, stuff like that. Yeah. Game of Thrones is here. It is.
Yeah. There's a vulnerability to the Targaryen Empire, and everybody in the council is leeching.
Dynasty is what they call it. Dynasty. They don't say dynasty. They dynasty.
Dynasty. Yeah. So yeah, everybody is getting cutthroat. They all want a seat next to Viserys.
They all want Viserys' seed.
Yeah, seat. Yeah. Everybody's offering up quite a bit.
Yeah. Take my daughter.
Oh, that's so gross. That is so gross.
That is gross.
For a couple of reasons, right?
Okay, name one. I don't understand it. Please name one.
You don't understand it? So Corlys and Rhaenys is Viserys' cousin.
Yes.
First off.
Yes.
Right? And so Lyanna
would be his second cousin.
Second cousin, right?
Yeah.
Or a second niece or
something. Yeah,
so
I don't know how
either way, blood tied.
They are.
Right?
They have some of the same blood. Yes.
And we did talk about this, that the Targaryen family was like a pure bloodline. but they're like right off the gate, just showing you how close and how whatnot it is.
And look at Joffrey. So
and look, yeah, but yeah, I mean, they are offering off their 12-year-old daughter to her second cousin.
anything for power.
Yeah, right. He's the master of ships.
Mm-hmm.
He's Viserys is the king. Why not join the two family? You're already family.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting to see. And then on the other side, you have Otto,
Yeah.
who's like, I got a daughter.
I got your back.
Yeah, my wife died.
He did it indirectly.
He did.
He did it a little bit. He played the card earlier.
He reminds me kind of like Littlefinger.
Yeah. Like
Right. He's got his birds everywhere. Yeah. He's kind of sneaky and sly. Yeah.
He's not like Ned.
No, and isn't that who they said 2.0?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They were wrong.
They were wrong. This episode.
Ned never offered his daughters like that.
No, he didn't want to do that. But this episode was interesting because it starts off with it's 6 months later. All of a sudden,
they're gonna move timelines really quick.
Yeah, I think so.
Because if, like I said last time, you look at the cast, they have two different Rhaenyra and two Alicents. Her name I have Alicents. There's two different Alicents.
Yeah.
And there's two different Rhaenyras.
Yep.
They're 9 years apart, I believe, is when they show them later.
Which would make sense because of the prequel, or like the preview. But we'll talk about that later.
Yep. So, yes, they are going to move along pretty quick.
Yeah, and so it starts off 6 months later, and you have Rhaenyra, who's sitting. She's still helping out.
So the cupbearer.
Cupbearer, yeah. At the council meetings and whatnot, and so they're talking about the issue at the Stepstones, and she throws in her 2 cents. She's like, Dad, or whatever, King,
sir.
Yeah, she's like, you have dragon riders, use them. She's throwing in her 2 cents. She wants to be involved in the combat, like helping out more than being a cupbearer. And they kind of chalk it down to she's young. Viserys' whole thing, which has to be his fall, is that he's just so passive. Like, he just wants to avoid war at all costs, doesn't want to deal with small like embers that are going to turn into huge flames someday, and that's going to end up biting him in the butt. But you've got Rhaenyra, who's like, I've got a dragon, I want to do this, let me help, because you kind of keep getting little pieces of the crab feeder. And in this episode, it opens up with a pretty cool little scene.
Yeah.
The guy's still alive, posted to wood or whatever, and crabs are just eating flesh off his body.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And then, so she's told, no, go do other princess things. And
then later, I'm going to skip ahead just a tad bit. He's like, oh, you're just young. He specifically says that you're just young. I mean,
you'll learn.
We've seen in this show that dragons freaking dominate.
100%. It's such a huge power.
It's like having 10,000 troops, but that can move fast and destroy things really quick. 10,000 might be too little. Sorry, it might be 100,000 troops.
Yeah,
and so she's just like, why not flex a little bit? And he's just like, oh, you're so young. Bring me my wine.
Yeah, which is insane. Like, you're a king. Like, if you really wanted to avoid war, send a dragon.
But do you want? People. I mean, yeah, but do you want to be that kind of king? That's the question, though.
Well,
if you want to keep your dynasty going.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, it's everything is like your story to be told after you're gone. Like, how are you going to be remembered? That type of thing. Nobody wants to be a mad king.
Nope.
Right.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. 172 years later.
4 generations of inbreeding.
That's a lot of inbreeding.
It's Joffrey's heaven with Joffrey's with his sister.
Oh man. But I don't know. I would think that that's the appropriate move. They do touch on it why you don't do that, because if you make a move onto the free cities, that's going to be a devastating, or the other kings and stuff aren't going to find that too kingly.
Yeah.
Right. So it'll probably create a war, I guess.
When they're not technically part of the free cities, they're they're part of it, but they're not.
Yeah, I wonder.
They operate out of it, but they said they're not directly.
I gotta see where these other kings are at, because I don't know. To me, Stepstones, I get it is between the two places of Essex and Westeros, but I don't know, man. I mean, if your issue is on your shores and not the disputed lands, then I feel like that's fair game, right? You should be able to rule over that, because this is where they're talking about the Stepstones.
Yeah.
And like I get it. It's the in between Essex and that's the issue. But yeah, if it's on your land, the broken arm, take care of it. If they're out in open waters, then leave it alone.
Less than a day's ride for one dragon.
Oh, 100%.
Send a couple dragons up there.
Yeah. But unless they're not, they might not be on the lands because all the shots they've shown, like there is water nearby, so it's probably on the islands.
Yeah, it's probably. I agree.
Because their ships are passing through and then they're capturing them. Yeah. So that would make sense. You can't go touch that in international waters. But then, so after that, she chooses the new Kingsguard. Kingsguard, yeah, sorry. Kingsguard.
Sir Kristen Cole.
Yeah.
And I liked her question that she asked. Which one of you has... They're all just tournament knights. Like, which one of you actually has real experience? Which, he was the youngest out of all of them, it looked like.
Yeah.
And he's the only one that had experience? Like, what?
Yeah, I wouldn't want any of these guys fighting for me. Yeah. If that's all they're doing.
That's a real sword.
This guy took down a to-be butcher. Or a butcher to be. It's like, what? You're
nice.
Yeah, you're sentencing people to death before they've done any crimes?
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes you a real hero.
So I think they're going to have a relationship, those two.
Yeah, I think so.
You know? That's just...
And he is the Dornish kid, right?
He is... I should know this. He is...
Because he talked about taking Daemon off of his horse, which in the tournament, that was the Dornish kid.
It was, yeah. I gotta watch episode 1.
Yeah.
He is not noble.
No, right. Yeah, he's not of noble house.
He's not of noble house. I don't know.
I think he is from Dorne. Okay. Yeah, and so that'll be interesting because obviously whenever you marry somebody and you're in royalty, you need to marry another powerful, wealthy family. It needs to strengthen the realm.
Yep, so any controversy.
And that's going to be a huge issue because that's all Viserys cares about is strengthening the realm because right now it's seen as very weak.
Slowly deteriorating, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Same with him too, actually.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
No, and they bust out the
maggots.
Oh, I was like, that's disgusting.
Wouldn't that be a terrible way to like clean? So like his feet. So you're seeing him fall apart, right? He's got the wound on his back that they say is not healing. They wanted to cauterize it. Yeah, festering. I almost wonder if it's like dragon scale.
We never saw the dragon scale do that.
No, not pus up like that. But
maybe
I wonder if that's like the precursor to it or something. I was kind of hoping to see a little dragon scale. I just liked how they had to remove it, like dig in there.
Yeah, Sam doing that all night. Yeah, that was disgusting.
But then this episode we saw in the last one, he pricks his finger on the throne, Iron Throne.
Mm-hmm.
But in this one, he doesn't have like the tip of his finger anymore. Like it is rotted away in 6 months. And the way to fix it
is that the finger he pricked?
Yeah. That's the finger he pricked.
Oh, my gosh. So he is falling apart.
He's falling apart fast.
Jeez, 6 months? Dang, it's going to keep going.
Yeah. So then you almost got to wonder, is somebody putting poison on the Iron Throne? Like, how come when he gets stabbed, these are turning into, like, nasty, nasty sores and not just, a prick and healing up?
That's a good point.
Right?
It's a good point, but they didn't have good medicine back then either, though.
They didn't have good medicine. How many times have people bled on that throne and all that kind of stuff? How many times have people puked and snotted and they're not cleaning it? So there's probably a lot of bacteria on it.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But part of me wonders if there's a little...
Could be.
Yeah, maybe Otto is...
That's who I would pick. If I had to pick anyone, it's Otto.
Maybe that's like the big spoiler at the end.
Oh, Otto's been poisoning your chair.
Oh, man. But, so, you see the king falling apart and maggots eating away the flesh. But then it goes into... what comes after that?
Like a chamber, it's a dark with all the candles.
Yeah.
It's like a praying chamber.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because you have Alicent and Rhaenyra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so... you want to talk about it?
So after in episode 1, after Alicent gets sent to his room because Otto is playing a game of Thrones.
It's the first time you see him do anything.
First time you see him. And then I think through the episode they keep showing them together, so obviously it's turning into a relationship. I feel like Alicent obviously was playing this the whole time. She knew what she was doing. I mean, I don't think her father forced her to do it necessarily, but yeah, she's kind of playing both sides now. Yeah. She's playing her best friend and her soon-to-be... No, I'm just kidding. I'm just guessing. Soon-to-be baby daddy.
No, but she is. She's working it from both sides. She's working it with daddy, King Viserys, and she's working it with her best friend, the daughter, Rhaenyra. and she's playing the part very well. Too well to just be told from Daddy to go console the king.
Yeah, because consoling him is one thing, but telling Rhaenyra and Viserys different things to try to make them mend each other. She's like playing like a motherly figure, and
she is
best friend on one, and motherly,
Yeah, and like even the way she's talking to Rhaenyra at the praying when they're praying at the little water thing they're at, it is like a very motherly tone. Like, I'm trying to help you, daughter. Get over your hurt and stuff like that. Like, your mom just passed. Let me fill that void in your heart. And then same thing with Viserys. You know, your wife just passed. I love reading literature. I love your little stone sculpture. Love your daughter. We're best friends. Let me just kind of slide right in to that empty hole in your heart and be all the pieces that are missing. Yeah. So she knows what she's doing. She's very tactical.
Cersei-esque?
Oh.
Young Cersei-esque?
Maybe. Yeah, we might see like that side of her come out.
But this is...
I think actually... Oh, yep. I think you're right because of the preview that we saw.
She's going to die.
Yeah. Well, all right, we'll just touch on it. So in the preview for the third episode, you hear the name Aegon. You get to see a little, if you haven't seen the preview, but you saw the second episode.
Some of us didn't know there's a preview.
Yeah, he just saw it before we recorded.
Yep.
But in the preview after the second episode, you do see that Viserys does have a son. He's super excited. Son's name is Aegon. He has him obviously with Alicent. So being in the next episode, it's got to jump.
At least in 9 months later.
Yeah, right? And so, yeah, gosh, they're just hopping all over. But yeah, I do think once you have little
Aegon,
that Alicent is maybe going to become a little Khaleesi. She's going to get protected.
Khaleesi?
Or
Cersei.
Cersei, sorry. Yeah. Too many crazy names.
I know.
Yeah, I like when we're just rambling on, it's like hard to...
I know. Yeah. I just started listening to the audiobook and holy crap.
Yeah.
Those names. You pick up on like 3 of them. They keep saying 100 times.
Yeah.
Aegon.
Yeah, so Cersei, I think like Mama Bear is going to come out of her, and maybe like now that she has all this power, she's with the king, she has a prince. I think she might try to throw that power around a little bit and maybe become an evil, maybe kill Viserys for Otto, so he can be the king. Because she's
until her son becomes of age.
Yeah, or her son. Yeah, becomes of age.
Yeah,
and so I think that might be the side of her that you get to see here soon. Obviously, like you're doing the books now. I don't know anything about the books. I actually don't want to really know anything about the books because I just want to enjoy the episodes with everybody else and take the information that's given to us. That being said, I will put in here what I told you right before this, something that George R.R. Martin had said about House of Dragons. So there are the books that you're reading, and it's what, Fire and Blood? Yeah. So there's those books, and if somebody has read them, great. From what George R.R. Martin has said is take that stuff with a grain of salt, because it's all going to be based off of what actually happened, but that book is stories written by maesters who are recollecting what had happened and whatnot, and so it's very loosely told. Like obviously it's a well-written book and whatnot, but their recollections are loosely told.
Maybe what they're told.
Or maybe what they're told, right? 'Cause, oh yeah, like you said, maesters don't get out much. So
no.
I mean, they're talking. It's all secondhand stories, and so the whole idea with the House of Dragons is that this is actually what really happened.
I think that's a smarter way to do it. I think it gives more leeway, in that not everyone knows exactly what happened. Like, I heard there's a whole bunch of on the internet. There's a whole bunch of people like, oh, just this is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened. I think with how he did it this time is that's how the maesters heard it.
Yeah.
So if someone actually killed someone, that's what they heard.
Yep.
Quote unquote.
It's a good way to shut up people who are diehard book fans.
Yes, it is. So the only reason I'm reading the books is because I got sick of people. Well, I wanted to have my own thoughts. I'm not gonna read ahead. That's what I told you. I'm gonna catch up to it because I'm really far behind. I'm gonna catch up to it, and then I'm gonna like go with the movie because I like the visual aspect of it, and I'm going to just compare a little bit, not too much. I don't want to be one of those elitists. You know how much I hate elitists. Just kidding.
Right.
But yeah, I want to like just compare. You know, a couple notes here. Oh, you know, I heard stuff like that. But I don't want to be like one of those people. Oh, they did it wrong because this. she had white hair with a little bit of blonde in it. You know,
It's not how it was in the book.
I don't want to be like that. I want to.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy the movies because I enjoy the movies. I am a visual person like that. Not this is.
I like to go on cinematic adventures, and so like I don't care what the books say. I'm gonna go on this ride with the show because other than season 6, Game of Thrones was absolutely amazing.
7, I think 7 or 8.
Oh, 8, sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The last season.
The last season of Game of Thrones, Nightmare doesn't even count. And so up until then, amazing like cultural phenomenon. And it's not like everybody's just on a Game of Thrones bandwagon. It's just such an amazing story and show. So I love the cinematic adventure. And so same thing with House of Dragons. Maybe it's not quite the books. I don't care.
No, yeah, and we've talked about this before. We do need to dive a little bit more into the lore of it, just to have that. We can not argue, but we can go, oh, here's what the book said. Not saying the books are wrong, but it's from Maester's point of view, and then we can compare. We'll have that extra knowledge to build upon.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
So next book he's reading, it's I don't know. It's like a 5,000 page book. Not a big deal. His turn.
Sure.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
sorry,
man.
got off topic.
Yeah.
Not really, but yes.
But then yeah. So then after all that, you see Viserys talking to Corlys and Rhaenys about the proposal of the 12-year-old daughter. But then, which is the conversation that they had, just weird for a 12-year-old to even say to Viserys.
Yeah.
She was like talking to him, and he was like, "Is that what your father said?" And she like gives him a look like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "What did your mother say?" That I
don't have to fed you until I'm 14.
14? What?
That's 2 years.
It's still so
She's still
young.
12.
That's still so young.
No, I know, but she's 12.
And I guess that King Viserys, even though he's an older actor, I guess in the stories he's supposed to actually be around like 36 years old.
See, I'm gonna find that out.
Not that it makes it any better.
Well, he was 9. He's been on the throne for about 9-10 years now.
Yeah.
According to the show.
Yep.
So he's, yeah.
So he was 20 something when he became king, but not that 36 makes it better to be with a 14-year-old. But yeah, he is younger than what he looks like. But it's still so wrong, and that's his cousin and whatnot. That's just so wrong.
Yeah. But he should have done it. No, I'm just kidding.
Should have strengthened the houses for the realm. Yeah. Realm's your first priority.
But he might not last till she's 14.
It's very true. Get a son now. Yeah, because he is worried about that.
He is.
He only has one heir, and he said it's just too easy to take out our family. We need to. He's like, I need to have kids so I can.
And he can't tell the Corlys and his cousin, I forget her, Renee, I think. He can't tell Corlys and his cousin Renee that because otherwise the
Rhaenys, yeah.
Yeah, Rhaenyra and Rhaenys.
Yeah, so close.
Gosh.
Yeah.
They're all so close. Oh, yeah, you can't tell him that directly.
No. Can't tell him that directly, and you don't want. I mean, he's the master of your ships. He controls like where your armies are going to go if they have to cross the sea or anything like that. So you do have to be. You have to keep your friends
close and enemies
closer. I don't know if that applies to this, but kind of. Like you do want to keep him on a short leash, and you just don't want to piss him off and send him away. Yeah.
Too late.
Too late. He's
just kidding.
He's upset, and you do see a little bit of that later on in the episode. And so, yeah, so they have that. That's all weird, but I do like the conversation between Rhaenys and Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
Right, because you got 2 alpha females, right?
So I think one is building to an alpha.
One's right.
I think she is learning her ropes, but I think she is.
Yeah.
She's like a young. I like to compare. I don't, but I do.
Well, she looks like Khaleesi,
but she's like a young Khaleesi. How she was so timid before, but she's in that middle stage.
Yeah, she's trying to prove, like this is my throne. Like I can do this, Dad. And
after Drogo, that's who she is. After Drogo, her kind of getting their power.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Not before.
But yeah, so she's up on the ledge, and Rhaenyra and
Rhaenyra and Rhaenyra and
yeah. We'll just go with that.
Gosh.
So sorry, we're butchering names. I'm sorry. We will get it
by the end of this show.
Get it down.
Season 7.
But yeah, so they're having their conversation, and Rhaenyra's telling Rhaenyra that God, it just doesn't even sound right when I'm saying it. But either way, I'll just call her the Queen Who Never Was.
The Queen Who Never Was. That's easy. We can't screw that up. There's no.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the Queen Who Never was telling Rhaenyra that the she'll never be on the throne because she's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's putting her down, and Rhaenyra is snapping back and saying, well, you were never appointed because you're the queen that never was. This is my throne. I was named heir. And, you know, she's got her boss boots on. And it's kind of neat to see those two have that interaction because they're two alpha females. She's, she's married to the sea snake, but she's Targaryen blood. She's royalty and head of that house. And then you have Rhaenyra, who's an heir, going to be queen as long as Aegon doesn't get it.
Yeah, no, it is. That was good dialect between them two.
Yeah,
them two girls on the balcony overlooking overlooking Lyanna and Viserys. Yeah, that was interesting because she was like, that's, I guess,
right.
I guess it's better than
because the queen who never was looked at Rhaenyra and she was just like, does it bother you that your father's gonna have to remarry? And then she's like, does it bother you that it's your daughter? And she's just like, yes, it does. But like, I'm gonna get strength between the houses. I don't care. I'm gonna use my daughter as a pawn
for sure.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. We can probably talk about Daemon's moment that he shined.
So they're freaking out in the small council meeting, of course.
Yeah.
They found out that Daemon took one of the eggs.
Which, when that happened, I was just like, holy cow. Because they had the guy from the vault or whatever, and he's speaking...
The
Dragon Pit, and he's speaking in Valyrian.
Yeah.
And so you're just reading all the subtitles. And as they're going through, I'm like, oh my God, like, what did Daemon do? Like, obviously you saw him leave in the first episode at the end. And it's like he stole a dragon egg. Rhaenyra comes in. She's like, which egg?
Which egg?
Yeah. And it's the one that was supposed to be given to her baby brother, who Daemon was celebrating when he died, and then steals the egg.
The king for a day.
King for a day. And so it's just like, in my head, I'm like, you just created a war, Daemon. Like, holy hell is going to come down upon you. And, it's not that, but we got a pretty cool scene.
It's like a slap to the face.
It's a slap, yeah, to Viserys.
It's not like going to kill him, but it's a slap to his face.
Yeah.
And Daemon knows this.
Yep. And so, yeah, you get, so after Viserys is told, and this is where you start to see a little, like, power play from Otto come out, because the king was going to go handle it himself, and Otto was like, I got this, bro. Like, let me go handle this for you.
I've seen Otto, and I've seen Daemon.
Yeah.
Daemon will wreck Otto.
In a heartbeat.
I just have a feeling that Daemon is going to be like a Jaime Lannister with two hands.
Yeah.
He's going to be a good swordsman.
I think so.
Well,
and he doesn't go alone. He goes with Otto goes with an army.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Daemon has a dragon. I don't really care what army he.
No, I think he would still wreck him. But I think in Otto's mind, he's like, I'll go do this for the king, but he shows up with an army.
I mean, yeah, but like, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, no.
I don't understand. Like, yeah. So watching that whole episode, it's like they have dragons.
Yeah,
we've seen dragons.
You know that Daemon has
I would not, if I was Otto, I would not go after Daemon, who hates me, and say, hey, give me that egg back. I know you have a dragon somewhere around here.
Right.
Give me the egg back. Like,
what? He gets a reality check as soon as the swords are drawn, because they're talking about like, oh, you would do bloodshed here, and Daemon's just like, if it comes to it,
yeah,
but hold on, before we talk more about that, I still I'm so torn on Daemon.
Yeah, he's good. He's cool. He's my favorite character.
He's a multifaceted bad guy who I really don't think's a bad guy, because no matter what he does, he is playing by the rules. Like, the rules were already set, and how somebody plays the game is really
You're saying someone skipped his turn?
Somebody skipped his turn, and I think that's what's fueling his fire, right? But everything he does, whether it's good or bad, is justified by rules and laws that are in place by the king and kings before him. So he's not breaking any rules. Like when he stole the dragon egg and he said that he has like a son to be and whatnot, he tells him like, look, this is my right by the old Valyrian ways. I've done nothing wrong. I wanted a dragon egg. That one of those eggs was meant for me by right, and so I grabbed it. Like, everything he does is, you can't say you broke rules, and you can't say like he's really a bad guy, because he's in his head. I think he feels 100% justified.
Oh no, I'm sure he does feel justified. He's just going at it in a weird way.
Oh, 100%.
I think it's very strategic. Obviously, he's
poking the bear every step of the way.
He's poking the bear to see the bear show his hand. I don't think the bear can take him out.
No. Viserys would never. I don't think would ever.
No,
take it.
I don't think he would, and I think he knows that. I don't know. It's like he's trying to rile him up to get him to make a mistake or something like that.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because even when Otto confronts Daemon, he's just like, "Hello, Otto. Welcome to Dragonstone."
Mm-hmm.
He's very calm, very polite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And even in there, Otto's getting irritated and he's just getting flustered. Like, how could you do this to Viserys and give us the dragon egg back? And Daemon even just, you want the egg? Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
And Otto's like, what are you, mad? Like, you're going to do bloodshed here? And all Daemon did was hand out the egg. They don't even have swords drawn yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then their little dialect gets Otto's group to pull swords first. And then all of a sudden, the freaking dragon comes over the stone there, and they're like, "Oh, whoops, our bad. Let's put our swords away."
It's like, what do you expect's gonna happen?
Forgot you had a dragon, bro.
I would be the first thing I'd be like, I ain't going there.
No,
We're gonna go confront a guy who's got a dragon.
if I was meeting Daemon, I would definitely grab Rhaenyra and be like, "I kind of need you and your dragon just to be in the background."
Yeah. And then Rhaenyra actually plays this position very correctly
Yeah,
and comes and saves the day.
another bold move by Rhaenyra.
She's pretty bold, yeah, and goes in and and she says, what'd she say exactly? She was like,
When she got there,
yeah,
so yeah, no, so she shows up, flying up through the clouds, and
cool little scene there.
oh, so beautiful.
I thought it was the other dragon coming
back,
right, just to like flex on him.
That would have been game over. They would have had to just walk with their tail between their legs. But Rhaenyra comes through the clouds up onto the bridge they're on, lands, and she comes down, and Otto's just like, tells Sir Criston Cole to take her back to the king, whatnot. But she's just like, no, walks past him, goes right up to her uncle, and she's just like, pretty much like, knock it off. I am the reason you are not on the throne right now. If you really want the throne that bad, kill me.
Yeah.
And Daemon just looks at her. He looks at her like with an impressed look.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Like, we're definitely blood related. And I think in this same episode, the king sees Rhaenyra now as like a maturing woman. And I think Daemon also sees his niece as like a young adult. And that look he had at her is just like, I don't know if I want to hit you or respect the heck out of you. But like, obviously he wants the throne, but it looked more like admiration.
He was
and
like
respect.
impressed.
Yeah.
Like, yes, finally, someone's gonna take a leap and go all in for this.
Yeah, it could be his like ally, his like his way in, or like somebody who sees the same way.
Someone who he can trust and have their back.
Yep, 100%. And so he just has that little moment with her, turns away, and he's just like, oh yeah, throws the egg at her. You can see like she's looking down at the egg and she's smirking. She's like, holy cow, that actually worked against Daemon. So that was a cool shot.
Loves her.
Yeah, but then there's heartbreak, or a rocky foundation when Daemon gets back inside with his
mistress.
Yeah, mistress. There we go. I didn't know what word to use there.
Word.
Oh, they use a different word in the show. Yeah.
Harlot.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
I have a good vocabulary.
It's Harley Quinn. So yeah, he gets back in there, and they're speaking Valyrian.
I really like Valyrian.
It sounds cool.
It does sound cool. I might learn that. That's my second language.
That's gonna
Spanish
be
is super important, but Valyrian.
Oh my gosh!
If I could speak a good Valyrian, man,
dude, nobody would even know
all
what
the
you're
boys would follow me.
Your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's kind of like you get to see another layer of Daemon in that moment, because I really don't think he's the bad guy, and because he had not like an olive branch, but he's extending his help to her, probably ultimately to get the throne, but he knows this girl who's in traded all the time, yada yada yada, and he has been like, hey, I want to like take you out of that life and have you be the lady by my side and whatnot. And she's like, you told everybody we're having a kid and whatnot. She has that little dialogue, and she's like, that's not why I went with you. What was the word she wanted to be liberated, and he's kind of like confused by that. He's like, liberated how? And she's like, I just don't want to. She's like, from fear, but she's like, I don't want to have fear anymore. Everybody, treats me poorly. I've had fear my whole life, yada, yada, yada. She's like, I don't care about power, money, all that stuff. And so it's cool to see. It's almost like little Papa Daemon is like taking in a little youngling, like, let I'll put you under my wing and take care of you.
Like that one movie.
What's Pretty Woman?
Pretty Woman. It's exactly what it is. How'd you know?
Well, given the context, yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's
Damon, the knight in shining armor, literally.
That's man. I wonder if that's what they were thinking with that.
That's exactly what they were thinking. That's George R. R. Martin to a T right there.
Yeah,
His favorite movie. You didn't know that?
Probably Pretty Woman.
Definitely. He couldn't do it in Game of Thrones, but he can do it in this one.
Now you know what's going to be in the next episode. She's going to go on a shopping spree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gonna get some nice
Pretty
bracelets.
Woman. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, no, it was just. I think the more we see Damon, like he's gonna do bad things, but
You think it was a good heart?
somewhere in there.
Okay. No, he's still my favorite character.
I think every
But
time.
Rhaenyra is catching up, I think.
Yeah, 100%. But I think those two are gonna team up.
They could, yeah. We'll find out.
Yeah, because something's gonna happen to Viserys. He's literally falling apart in front of our eyes. So he's not gonna last long. What's up? You look like you were about to say something.
No, I'm just ready for the next scene. When she
Oh.
gets back, he freaks out. You can't leave me.
Oh, yeah.
You're my only heir. You can't leave me. And it's like,
Sir,
she
the
did the right
princess has
thing.
returned from Dragonstone. And he's just like, Dragonstone? Where was my daughter? But yeah, no, he's you get to see. I think he's panicking because like he is falling apart, and like we were talking about earlier, like the house is just so vulnerable. Literally, he's gonna die. But if somebody wipes out Rhaenyra, there is no empire anymore. That house for the Targaryens is gone, and somebody else gets to take over.
It would be the Corlys. It'd probably be
They would have
her, the
100%.
queen who never was.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because those two are cousins, and so I don't know. It would have to be them. Yeah.
I think it would. No, it'd probably be a vote, and then she'd probably lose again.
But Corlys would probably get it.
Yeah,
He would get it over Otto.
Maybe.
What does Otto bring to the table?
No,
He's the master
nothing.
of coins. but
I agree,
Yeah.
but he's in a very powerful position, especially after. I guess it depends when this happened. When and if this would have happened.
Sure. I mean, yeah, right. Because I'm sure that Viserys isn't the only one. He's like puppeteering and whatnot. So yeah, he probably would have.
He's
a pretty good shot.
Littlefinger.
He is Littlefinger.
He's Littlefinger.
Yeah. He's one of those where it's like you can't get rid of him no matter how hard you try because he's so closely tied to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's probably got blackmail on every single person.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that person though with all the birds flying around yet.
The closest
Kids.
one. Yeah.
We don't know yet.
Which was interesting when Game of Thrones revealed that because they were always like, oh, my birdies.
Mhm.
And then finally they show you it's just kids. Yeah.
Just little kids.
Kids love to talk.
Kids love to listen to.
Mm-hmm. Gossip.
Yep.
But that was just another moment that shows the weakness of the House Targaryen.
Mhm.
Didn't want to see Rhaenyra go deal with that, but she did, and she even says that if Otto had his way, there would have been bloodshed.
Yep.
So she's just boss boots on, and she's just kicking butt and taking names in this episode.
And then the
Not for
decision.
long. Yeah, the
And then
decision.
the decision.
Because she has that little heart-to-heart with Daddy saying, like,
Uh-huh.
look, Mom understood that the realm comes first, so
Yep.
whatever your decisions are. She was cool with it, and she pretty much tells him,
Do what you got to do.
do what you gotta do.
Get that 12-year-old.
And I should have seen his decision coming because...
You didn't.
No, I did. It was an obvious choice, but in that, like, right before he made the decision, I didn't quite sure if it was going to be 100% her.
You know how I knew? She was in the room.
She was in the room.
Why would she be in a small council room?
Yeah, okay. You're right.
When I saw that, I'm like, oh, didn't matter. 100%. I was 100%.
So the scene before, though, is what told me.
Oh.
So when he's before he has the talk with Rhaenyra, he's sitting there with the little dragon statue
Oh, and looking at it.
that Alicent had repaired.
Mhm.
And yeah, he was like looking at the edges. He was really dissecting it, and it was like, oh, crap! Like
Yep,
you
he's
made your
gonna
decision.
Yep.
Yeah, and then that's when I knew, and so it wasn't a shock when he announced it, but it was definitely a shock to Rhaenyra because she was like, hold up, my best friend Alicent has been cahoodling with my daddy. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. It's a classic love story.
Mm-hmm.
You
Classic
you
love story.
You like your best friend. Your best friend likes your dad. I mean, it's Romeo and Juliet told by Walmart.
He got power.
But yeah, so she was blindsided by it. Storms out of the room.
After Corlys.
Yeah. So I wonder. Yeah, Corlys was the first one to step out.
He took off first because he was ticked too because that was his plan. That made the most sense for the realm.
Sure.
Yes, I agree. But what's Game of Thrones without some little drama, little baby
Gotta
mama
have some
drama?
drama. Yeah. Corlys storms off. We get to see where he goes, but we do
Yep.
not get to see where Rhaenyra goes, which might be over to Daemon.
Maybe the same place. The Corlys is there. Maybe they just don't show the
camera
they don't
pans
show-
over.
They don't show the whole screen.
Rhaenyra is
Yeah.
like, yeah. Well, yeah, because I guess so. Yeah, so Corlys storms off and he goes at the end of the episode. You
To
get to see
Daemon.
is with Daemon,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about that. One of the first shots we were just talking about in this episode with the crab feeder who's
Mhm.
down at the stepping stones. So Corlys, this whole episode and the end of the last one, really wants this dealt with because he knows it's a growing problem. The crab feeder is on the stepstones, and he's literally catching sailors, staking them to posts and letting the crabs at high tide feed off their bodies. And so in the beginning of this episode, Corlys says, like, this has to stop. The last ship that was captured was waving my banner, so now it's my people getting tortured and
Mhm.
killed. So Corlys wants this done because that's how his house makes money, is off
Yep.
trades with the trade routes. And so he goes to Daemon, who has a dragon, and he knows that Daemon, he's of royalty. He can make decisions, kind of. But he's more of a loose cannon, and maybe we'll just help.
Maybe
Take
he's not
action.
a loose cannon.
I don't think he's a loose cannon. He does wild things, but he's calculated. Like, he knows the rules, and he knows how to play within them.
Yeah. So
You can never charge him for treason or anything like that because he hasn't done it. You might not like his decisions, but it's not.
yeah, very
Treason.
true.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. So yeah, Damon and Corlys teaming up. It sounds like.
And that's the only route that I see Rhaenyra's going too. So you have now three people, or two people on Daemon's
There's
team.
gonna be 3 houses.
Yeah. Corlys's house, Rhaenyra's,
And Viserys or Alicent.
oh yeah, right. So Viserys and Alicent, Corlys and the Queen Who
Mhm.
Never Was, and then what? Who would you consider the third one in that then?
Rhaenyra.
Oh, Viserys and Rhaenyra separately.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yep, they're gonna separate.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know. I'm again. We have not read anything on the internet because that's gonna break everything. Oh, you're
Mhm.
wrong.
I'm sure Lucas will be down in the comments being like,
he
"Well,
hasn't read the books.
I got you.
He didn't know.
Suck it, nerd."
Yeah, big nerd.
Just kidding.
Not like me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Was there anything else to touch on? So the crab feeder though, like, did you see his face?
Yeah, they're creepy. They're creepy little guys.
That's cool.
Creepy little scarecrow guys. No, that's not cool. That's disgusting.
Dude, I don't know. I couldn't tell if he had like somebody else's skull on his face. Yeah, so cool.
Like Michael Myers, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it looked cool. I mean, what a torturous way to kill somebody. Like, you
Yeah.
stake like one limb to a post so they can't get away, and you just let crabs feed off your body.
I think they're stapled more than one because they were kind of stuck there a little bit.
Sure. Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
2 would be pretty devastating.
Yeah. But
Ah.
terrible way to die.
Just skin a little bit off of them so they have like flesh showing. So the crab's like, go get them. Go get them.
Oh, you're just gonna bleed out. But I don't know. I can't wait to see that. And in the preview, they show that the next episode has a huge battle scene.
Yep.
Right?
They do.
Dragons come down, breathe fire on everybody. It looks like they're at Stepstones, I would
Yeah,
think.
I think that's going to be the next route. That's where there's going. Favorite character so far? Least favorite character? Who's yours?
Still Daemon.
Damon? Yeah.
Favorite, yeah.
Okay. Least favorite?
Least favorite, I don't know. It would have been Otto, but it might be his daughter.
Mm-hmm. So the Hightower family, you're saying?
Yeah, least favorite. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. They haven't done anything noble or cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you on Damon. I think Damon is number 1. I think Rhaenyra is catching up, though. I
Yeah.
think this episode she kind of took a big leap. She caught up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Least favorite? It's a good one. I don't want to say Hightower because that's predictable.
Sure.
So I'm going to say...
What? Here, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
When Viserys, after talking, he's weighing the decisions on who he's going to marry.
Yes.
He holds a private council meeting
With that one dude.
with the one dude.
Mhm.
I don't know his name,
Uh-huh.
but he specifically singles that guy out and asks him to just shoot him straight.
Mhm.
Let him know, like, he's like, who would you pick?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes against that pick.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is. Like, I wonder if he's trying to see if
I think he's
Corlys
just trying
has
to
him in
weigh
his
it-
pocket.
Weigh it all out. Weigh everything out.
Sure.
Like, see from someone outside because that guy had no connections to either side.
That's what I would assume. Yeah.
And
yeah.
he just saw it from just the different angle, and he analyzed it correctly.
Yep.
But
And he goes against it.
love is love. Love has no age.
Love has no age, I guess. That's the message of this episode.
Leanna didn't spend enough time with Viserys. That's all I know.
Well, she's playing with her building blocks and Legos and stuff, trying to paint within the lines. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, so crazy.
Good episode. I think episode's going to be more long-term than episode 1.
Yeah.
But overall, I did like episode 1 more. But I think long-term, episode 2 might be just a big stepping stone towards what's going to happen.
This episode creates the divide that the first king was talking about.
Yep.
That the only thing that can tear down the
Targaryens.
Targaryen empire is the Targaryens.
Yep. I agree.
And this episode shows it. This decision splits all the different houses. So it's just going to be a wild ride moving forward.
I'm very jazzed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited and can't wait to see what's gonna happen next.
Really quick before we go, do you think White Walkers are going to be in this?
No,
They talk about the wall.
they do, but they're not gonna be in this because they didn't see them for thousands of years before
Yeah.
the Game of Thrones.
Okay, so they're in that lull in between.
yeah, which
okay.
they're obviously existing right now, but they're not multiplying fast enough yet.
Right.
There's probably only like 400, and they're slowly, every year they double,
Mm-hmm.
and every year they double.
To
Yeah,
the army
that's
that we
actually
saw.
that's probably
That's probably accurate.
that's maybe they don't double.
I mean, they're not doubling the traditional way, so I mean, it'd be very easy to like double or like triple or quadruple.
Well, that one guy doesn't have enough daughters yet, so.
Oh, that's right. He's giving all the sons away
Yep.
to become White Walkers. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. You got to have something kind of mystical other than the crab feeders, because I think those are just people that are weird.
Crab people.
Crab
people. Look. What does it look like? Crab talk like people or something like that?
I don't know.
You never heard that?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay, we'll find out.
I just figured it's a bunch of old Gregs on an island.
Old Greg's.
I'm old Greg.
What if old Greg popped out?
They go sailing by and he's like, "Would you like some Baileys?"
Would you like drink my Baileys from a shoe? Is he a shoe?
I think so.
Or is it boot?
Something like that.
What you doing in these water? What are you doing in this here water? What if old Greg is the crab feeder?
Oh gosh, that'd
What
be
are you doing in
amazing.
these here waters?
Could you love me? Could you learn to love me?
If you haven't seen old Greg,
Check it out, and then watch Salad Fingers.
I've never seen that one.
It's creepy.
Okay.
Yep. Well, yeah. Thanks for talking nerdy with us. I am loving this show so far. Hopefully you are. And honestly, give us thoughts about the show. Obviously House of Dragons, but give us thoughts about our show.
Mhm.
Do you like it? Do you dislike how we're doing it now?
Has a background, has all this other
Background.
stuff.
We're gonna change my side after seeing the first episode.
Agree.
After seeing how bright and like colorful his
Awesome.
is.
Awesome is the word he's looking for.
Awesome. We're gonna switch up my side. Mine's very muted. I thought it worked well with blue at first, but no, it
I mean,
does
it
not.
might, but I mean, you got like, this is like the dream team, and that's like the WNBA.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
You're the Avengers, and I'm the Suicide Squad over here.
Perfect. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have any ideas, maybe let me know what color this wall should be back here.
Pink.
Pink. Could do orange. Could do, I don't know,
Black.
if green would work. Black. Maybe I'll just make my side a green screen, and we can just play around with the color here and there. I'm not going back to green screen. No.
More space for more room for activities now.
Heck yeah, we can build bunk beds. But yeah, no, let us know your thoughts, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.